Okay, so now you know that cancer and disease and chronic illness comes from weak bodies exposed to viruses, and viruses aren't bad. It's just they're bad on weak bodies. So how do you strengthen weak bodies? Well, obviously, it's not how the allopathic holistic market does it, whether it's applying the wrong chemistry or simply avoiding, because that's the only two ways the allopathic holistic industry deals with cancer, disease, and chronic illness. Is they either apply the wrong chemistry or they simply avoid food, all types of food, and they demonize all types of food. And so, yeah. So what is it about the trajectory of life trajectory or death trajectory? It's the mentality, your proactive and reactive stance to cancer, disease, and chronic illness, or the viruses, as well as applying the right or wrong chemistry, and then your perceived outcome. You think you're going to die or you think you're going to live indefinitely. Either the two. So when somebody applies cannabis to their cancer, disease, and chronic illness, that's the wrong chemistry. Cannabis is the wrong chemistry. People will justify cannabis because it's part of the endocannabinoid system. But you know that coffee and cabbage and other foods also have endocannabinoids in it. You don't need to take something psychoactive or a CBD oil, a highly condensed type of chemistry, to go and then with the intention is to anesthetize the body. Okay, so cannabis and THC and CBD is the wrong chemistry to apply to a body that's afflicted with weaknesses, and you know, not because the viruses, they just happen to have viruses on a weak body, and so they apply the wrong chemistry, which is cannabis. So this is why you see people who are systematically degrading in our system who are avid cannabis users. And then it stunts their growth process too. It stunts a lot of things in their emotional, their body, mind, and spirit. Cannabis stunts the body, mind, and spirit. Okay? So that's the wrong chemistry to apply. When somebody is turning to supplements or any type of conglomeration of acids, fatty acids, amino acids, prohormones, and minerals. And I don't care how they manifest, but it's like, you know, fatty acid, or just doing straight up oil and just eating straight fat all the time because they think that that's what's going to strengthen their body. So they're taking large amounts of fatty acids. They're taking large amounts of amino acids. You see that in the health food store by Bragg. Okay, they do the apple cider vinegar as well. People take large amounts of prohormones. What is that? They take vitamin A, B, C, D, E, F, and G in supplements, in extracts, in lotions, in drinks, in all these different shakes and pills and powders. Okay, and they take large amounts of minerals. They do the heavy metal detoxes, which is kind of ironic because that, you know, you're trying to detox a heavy metal out of your system using heavy metal. I'm just like, that I never got. But when you're taking large amounts of bentonite clay, diatomaceous earth, bleach, what else? Hell, I don't know. Garlic, turmeric, all the different spices. Okay, you're taking large amounts of a specific item that then throws the chemistry off the body. It throws the chemistry off in the body. Okay, so how you manage your viruses on a weak body will be the difference between life and death. Okay, and so and that's what the allopathic holistic market, or they play the avoidance game, to where you have then painted yourself in a corner where, like Kevin said, he basically was, you know, he was then relegated to only a few foods that he could eat, or it would trigger, all the other foods would trigger some kind of inflammation. Okay, so when you go to a functional medicine doctor, they're going to look at all your different deficits, and then they're going to look at all your different overabundances. It's like, okay, here's your diet, here's your whole plan of action to try to maintain homeostasis so you don't have inflammation. And then you avoid foods that you need, and then it becomes a starvation thing. Because you need all those foods that even if you react to them, you still need them. The body has like an overabundance of them in some way, and then it's like the body creates antibodies because of that exposure, And then this is where then autoimmunity and all the different diseases come into play. Okay, so so even avoiding foods is what will also cause imbalances. And so that's why when someone said, oh yeah, I have a functional medicine doctor, I'm like, functional medicine, and then using food as a remedy. Because even that mentality, oh yeah, if you have bad eyes, eat a bunch of carrots. But then you already have candida, which is an overabundance of yeast, and you need to kind of cut down on some of your sugar intake. But you really, when you think about it, that's still applying the same allopathic holistic discrimination. But that's kind of what happens, is that when when you're taking one type of element to, I guess, deal with that deficit, then you're then creating an overabundance in something else. So you're always going from one extreme to the other. And that's the same thing with side effects when it comes to the prescription drugs, is that you're managing one symptom, but everything is connected. And then you start seeing, because it's a wrong chemistry, then you start seeing that the interruption of other systems in your body, and the body's trying to heal from this interruption. And then you start seeing then the domino effect. Okay. So so simply avoiding. But here's the thing with the J juice. Here's the thing with the J juice. Why we have the discrimination in the beginning. Because what's going to happen is people have addictions. Okay. So with the J juice, what we're doing is we're bringing in cabbage water and salt, and it's fermented. And it is a data pack of lactic acid, micro and macronutrition, and it has the electrolytes, the minerals, and all of that. Okay. And people have major addictions. They have sugar addictions. They have so many addictions, and they have allergies too. And they have acid imbalances. They have fatty acid imbalances, amino acid imbalances, hormonal imbalances, and mineral imbalances. Okay. And so what we're trying to do is just kind of just chill out on the food supply, because what's going to happen is when you try to do J juice, okay, you're going to do J juice. You're not going to drink a whole lot in the beginning, because it's very intense in the beginning. Some of you can drink a whole quart, others can't. And so they have to start out small. But if you learn to just not, because what's going to happen is if you do only like a little bit of J juice, say a teaspoon a day, and you're still eating your diet of like cookies, cakes, and candies and pancakes and all these things, instead of trying to substitute with a much more like non-aggressive data pack. I don't even want to say it clean, because then clean and dirty have a connotation, but maybe fruits and vegetables and the Jilly Juice diet is a non-aggressive data pack, because you can have aggressive data packs on a strong body, but on a weak body, you need to cut down the data that's coming into the body, because you already are over datalized, I guess. You are over mineralized, over acidized, over hormonalized, or you have major deficits. Okay. So in the beginning, why the diet is the way it is because we already know just from all of our research that people are coming in with deficits, and they're coming in with overabundance in everything. Okay. And so if we but some of you are not going to be able to get off of your specific things for whatever reason, and that's fine. Some of you have prescription drugs. Some of you are really sugar addicted. Okay, fine. Do the J juice. What's going to happen is when you do drink the J juice, you're going to see your sugar addictions, your sugar cravings are going to subside. Okay? You're going to see different things happen in your biochemistry. Okay, and so then you start bringing in the right nutrients. You're not craving as much of the sugar. Maybe you get off the coffee, you get off the smoking. Who knows? Okay, there'll be different things that happen for different people based upon their biochemistry and their lifestyle. But when you bring in the J juice, it starts settling your biochemistry. Maybe you see a difference in your libido. Maybe you'll see a difference in your blood pressure. You'll see a difference in all the different things that you test for. Maybe you go get a test for a specific disease. Let's say, you're having these lesions come up through the J juice because you have the herpes virus that's like, way tucked down deep into your body, and now the JJ's is bringing it to surface. And then you go get a test for that virus because you're like, oh my God, is this herpes? What is this? And you go to the doctor and they test it, like, oh yeah, it's herpes. You're like, oh wow. Okay, so every single, so you're going to bring to surface all the different things that are going on in your body. You're going to see the biochemistry, and all these things are going to be going on simultaneously. Okay, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be kind of fun, but not, and so the J just finally, you brings in the right chemistry, you bring up the healing process, whatever that is, manifest for you. And some of you know, and you don't want to disclose everything, and you shouldn't have to. And then you will deal with it. And then when things are at the surface of your body, so this is why when people use J-Juice as a topical, why it's a faster healing, because your skin is like the largest organ. It's the biggest filtration process. When you have things come to the surface of your skin, it's on its way out. Just like when the ocean, when things come from the bottom of the ocean, they rise to the top, and that's when all the scavengers and the sharks and the seagulls come in and pick off the dead fish and all of the carcass of the stuff. I mean, the sharks and all the predators in the ocean are that cleans up the ocean. Okay, so when you have all these different things that are deep, laying dormant in your body, waiting for it to come to surface, whenever, like autoimmune disorders, and then you proactively bring it to surface, and it comes up to your skin, and then you use a J-Juice on top of that, it then accelerates it leaving the body. And that's probably why you see healing happen faster on the skin than you do in the body. And it's not as painful. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But I've used the juice on topically, and it's healed that quick because it was on its last journey out the door. So that's why, we shouldn't be using magnesium on the skin or really essential oils on the skin. But I understand with headaches, people need to have some kind of diversion. And I have used peppermint oil and water on a washcloth and just put it on my forehead because I'm just like, dude, this headache was intense. And that was like a couple years ago. Okay. But that wasn't really topical. That was just like a headache that I used, as a topical, because it was just a way for me to divert. Because sometimes you do have to turn to certain things to help manage a healing process, but it's not undermining your healing process, but it's helping you manage it so you can handle it. Because I'm telling you, headaches can be really torturous. But when it comes to actual skin lesions and skin conditions, the J-Juice is the greatest for it. And yeah, some of you have really intense skin issues. That yeah, you may have open lesions, you may have psoriasis and eczema coming to surface, and it's aggressive and spreading because yes, it's coming to surface. Those weaknesses in your body that hold those different weaknesses that come out in imbalances are now finally getting patched up and taken care of and strengthened. I mean, as far as the organs and the systems, and then those weaknesses are leaving the body. Okay. So that's why you can't be scared of the protocol. And when you see things come to surface, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that was deep down in the depths of the ocean of my body. I saw I had a few rashes on my body. I had a few patches of dry skin in places. I'm like, what the heck? Like in the back of my thighs, I had 2 dry skin patches. I had that lymphoma type of thing at the crook of my leg. I had it looked like a ringworm type of thing come to surface when I was doing the J-Juice, and it happened as fast as it disappeared. I had definitely, dry skin issues in the beginning where I always had issues with right around here of dry skin to where I have to go and get some kind of like dermabrasion type of thing and get like salt or sugar to just get off the dead skin, because that was, what was the weaknesses that my body had to deal with. Okay, so you guys are going to see fluctuations in all of your body, mind, and spirit during the J-Juice protocol. So, but you have to apply the right chemistry. And the right chemistry is something that is basically supportive and aligned with the body. J-Juice has acid. It has micro and macronutrition or prohormones. It has minerals / electrolytes. Okay, your body needs that. And then guess what? The electrolytes offset the acid, because you can have a lactic acidosis And that comes from people taking the kombuchas and the apple cider vinegars and all of the probiotic shakes that are out there that they're selling with bunches of sugar. I mean, like Plexus. They don't sell it in a salty version. No, they sell it in a nice sugary version because they want to appeal to those senses that are addicted to sugar. Not that sugar is bad, but you have an imbalance. And so that's what they appeal to, is your imbalances, but then they sell it like, oh, it's a probiotic. Yeah, it is, but do you necessarily need that much of that probiotic? No. You have to have then the balancing forces. So electrolytes balance out the lactic acid. The water balance out the salt. Okay? The micro macronutrition gets energized by the electrolytes. And then guess what? You're starting to see the healing process. Oh my God, that's why we see rapid healing. And that's why you see pain. That's why you see then hormones getting expressed or suppressed based upon what the body actually needs to do. Maybe your adrenals need to be calmed down. Maybe the oxytocin needs to be kind of chilled out a little bit. So you don't have a high pleasure-seeking type of personality or a highly adrenalized personality where you want to fight everybody and everything. Okay? You start calming the F down. You're not bullying people. But some of you live off your adrenaline. Some of you live off your imbalances, and you make a good ton of money off your imbalances. And I understand that. Hollywood, the influencers on YouTube, the artists in our society live off their imbalances, and they make good money. And so they're almost afraid to do the J-Juice because they might lose their edge. I understand, but then you're sacrificing yourself for your politics. Is there a way to make money where you don't sacrifice yourself and everybody around with you? Yeah, there is, but you have to be in a very, what do you call it, balanced body, mind, and spirit. But we have people who say, oh, I believe people should live, but everyone needs to die and go to the next realm. And they're okay with aging. They don't see a problem with going gray and degrading and dying because they think that their spirit lives on. Yeah, it does. I had a dream this morning, and it was crazy. It was like I was like an actual like dust particle in a room just bouncing. And I was like fighting something or somebody. But I was floating, but it was kind of in a chaotic form. Like there was some kind of force that was just like moving me all over the place. So I had an experience of kind of being like a ghost. It was kind of weird. Okay. And I'm like, wow, that's probably what it's like to be a disembodied spirit missing the RNA and DNA. Because you're just bouncing around the universe looking for a body to inhabit. And if you have such a strong biochemistry that's very aggressive and you find a weak body, then that's where people then experience, I guess, possessions and all that, the demonic stuff, okay? But I really had an experience of what it's like to be a disembodied spirit with no RNA and no DNA in my dreams, okay? And that's weird as hell, but I mean, it's the only way I can describe the dream. And it was like right there on the surface, I remember it. And I was fighting something because, yeah, I'm sure spirits fight each other when they have a, overabundance of adrenaline or they make love to each other, I mean, there's different types of demons that you guys hear about. The sex demons and the satanic demons and all that stuff. So, I mean, I really do see that there's credence to some of these mythological stories that are out there. Yeah, Jacob. When you do the J-Juice, you're going to be exploring a lot more. And I'm just going to put little seeds of things out there so you can start making the connections. Some of you are living in such a compartmentalized life, you don't see that there's connections to everything. And then somebody has to make an analogy so you get their concepts. You get the concept on a universal level. But when you're so compartmentalized in your herbs and your homeopathy and your allopathic holistic world of ascension and playing with crystals, you're going to fail to see the bigger picture. And then guess what? You take yourself and your flock over the edge. And those are the true cults. The cult of pain mitigation, the cult of people who are promoting death, even in a nice, polite way, because somebody can disagree with you in a hateful way, which is easy. And they can also disagree with you in a very polite way, which is manipulative. Okay, so that's the same thing. You can promote death in a very hateful way, like a satanic person who does, you know, murders and everything, or you can promote death in a very polite and loving way. Oh, it's just your time. Take this. I'm going to help you out. I'm all about love, 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 and light, light, light. And let me help you through your pain, whatever. And I'm all about love, 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 and light, 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 and kindness to animals and kindness to people. And it just becomes so like so icky and sticky sweet. You just want to be like, dude, this is just icky and sticky. And that's an imbalance, promoting death. Okay? So yeah, anyways, that was kind of like a little over the top, but I really wanted to make a point there. So, you know, so how you manage all of these different diseases is then, or the virus overloads and all that stuff is based upon the kind of chemistry you apply. It really is based upon the kind of chemistry you apply. And so yeah, I mean, what we're trying to do is we're trying to promote life in the most consistent form, not dress it up, but it's either life or death. Okay, and so I demonize death, but that's appropriate. Demonize death, yeah. Right, love, 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 yeah. You know, and I you know, you see me go from one end of the spectrum to the other because I do deal with so many different people who I'm trying, you know, I mean, I want to ingratiate into my fold, so I have to appeal to some emotion, but then you see me lay the smackdown on someone that's just trying to like dispute with me in a very polite way. And it's just like, you know, I mean, it's kind of crazy. So really when it comes down to is logic. It just comes down to logic. And so so yeah, you're going to see the fluctuations of your biochemistry. You're going to have the dreams, you're going to have the revelations. I'm going to drop seeds so that way you start focusing on that and you start putting it all together. You know, and that's what my job is to do, is to kind of just put a lot of different seeds of thought out there, and then you think about it. Then you look at your life and see, what are you applying? What are you promoting? Look at you as an influencer. Some of you are aging and you're influencers. You're all about the love and light and you're okay with death, but you want to live. There is a total disconnect in that whole thought process. And this is what I'm trying to now get people to understand, is that they're hypocritical. And maybe we can kill off the hypocrisy in our society, and then we start seeing the changes in our society. Okay? So if you're all about love and light and life, then it must translate in your body, mind, and spirit, and not just your spirit, but also in your body. If you're aging with gray hair and your husband is aging and the wife is aging, and you're both promoting the same protocols with the same belief system, are you really truly promoting life, or is it dressed up as life, but really truly deep down you're promoting death? And is that really what you want to be promoting? Or I have no idea. But actions speak louder than words. People can talk a good game, but when it comes right down to it, the body, mind, and spirit doesn't lie. It really doesn't. People will tell you exactly what they're doing. And they will project what they want you to react to. Someone told me yesterday, oh yeah, you know, when I said don't die for your politics, right? And I have people that try to promote their politics on my page in different ways, and they think they're being slick about it, but I can read them like a book. And they're like, yeah, I don't want to die for my pot. That's why I remain silent. You guys saw that whole thing with Christina Taylor that I was going through. So that's why I remain silent. I'm like, why would you be silent? Why would you not want to promote life in a consistent manner? Oh, because if I put information out there on your page, I'm going to get my head chopped off. So I don't want to die for my politics. And I'm like, are you freaking okay? So you're doing a jab. You're making me wrong. and you're doing a jab, and that's kind of manipulative. And so, yeah, I'm going to, and she kept talking. I was like, oh my God. So it was just like, so I will call people out on their stuff. People will actually project how they want me to respond. And I think she wanted me to block her. But she made it sound like, oh, I'm not trying to turn the tables on you here. But she was. Because you could see the intention just in what they were saying. When you're trying to be obstinate, or I allow Kevin to kind of debate with me sometimes. Not all the time. But I will, because I know he kind of knows where I'm coming from, and I think he knows now more than ever where I'm coming from. And even though we don't agree on every single thing, the main things we agree on. So I will allow him to kind of challenge me in some ways, because we've built a relationship in that way. He's earned the right to do that because he's been with me for a long ass time. So I've given him an allowance to challenge me on certain things. And then if I really don't agree, then I will say it, okay? And you guys have seen it. We don't hide it. And if we really don't agree, then we go take it off to the side and have a sidebar. And then we figure it out. And we usually do figure it out. That's best for both of us. But I don't like anybody challenging my information. I really don't, okay? So if I see anyone really just surreptitiously or overtly challenging my information, they're gone. Because they haven't earned the right. And I only give certain people those allowances. Very few and far between, if that. Now, I have old friends on my Facebook that I've known from a long time that I will go and debate back and forth with, because I kind of know them. Their politics are not going to turn into like some, expletive session. But I know that they can take it. But they're still going to be, they're what they're going to be. I mean, I don't have the assumption they're going to change. But I will still, call out what I see and show the misalignment and the hypocrisy, and then they can either understand or not, either way. But that's it. That's why I don't allow anybody to really challenge me except for Kevin on a very limited basis. Because then I don't want to be influenced by somebody else's thought process. I mean, I'm not saying that we don't allow differences happen. As long as we're aligned on the right path, which is life, then okay. But if we diverge too much, then it becomes a death trajectory. So it's a fine line between life and death. He has biohacks that are great to help people through the healing process, as long as they're still doing the J juice and it doesn't overshadow the J juice. That's fine. But then I don't want somebody doing so much of the biohacks that then it overshadows the J juice, and then they turn back into the holistic allopathic, because that's very, very easy to do. Yes, people do like to say about energy and hormones. Yes, they do. All the freaking time. But that's okay. I put a stop to it for the most part. I don't really feed in too much into it nowadays. I still see the stuff out there. I mean, I still see people capitalizing on my information, or as far as my videos, and it gives them a platform, and that's fine, because it's a quid pro quo. They're getting my name out there. I'm not mentioning their name, but they're getting my name out there, even though they have a perception of this. But at least you give people the option to say, okay, they can follow this person, or they can check out and see who the hell this girl is. Is she as crazy as he's claiming, she is? So, I mean, that's fine. If they wanted to give me their hormones and minerals for free, okay, I get free advertising all over the place. So we're all capitalizing on each other, as long as we bring each other to light. But I'm not going to give him any free advertising. Maybe you know who I'm talking about, maybe you don't. But anyways, you guys, just how you manage your viruses on a weak body will be the difference of the life trajectory or a death trajectory. And first, you have to then change, for you to even reverse all of your cancer, disease, and chronic illness, and reverse the aging process, you have to believe that the body can live indefinitely, that you can lengthen your telomeres. If you don't believe that you can lengthen your telomeres, then it's all for naught. Don't even bother looking at J juice. Don't even bother, because it won't be worth it to you. If you don't want to live indefinitely, and you don't believe that telomeres can be lengthened and strengthened, then you don't want to do J juice, because it will go against everything that you believe. If you believe that people should be anesthetized, floating around, disembodied while they're alive like a zombie, no different than when they go to the afterlife in a DNA, RNA, what is it, missing body, disembodied spirit, then that's fine. You can promote all that death and ghost stuff and ascension and spirituality through a decaying body to yourself and your friends. But if you really truly believe in life, then it must be exemplified on a consistent basis, not picking and choosing who should live and who should die. No, you're not God. Okay? So, and I've yet to see some of my people who've been on my Facebook really exemplify consistent body, mind, and spirit alignment of life, because they're still very, very political. They'll catch me from time to time on my videos, but they're still practicing all of their holistic stuff, their homeopathy, their healing chakras, but they're not promoting J juice. They're probably not even doing J juice. And if they are, they're not saying it because they're selfish and they're keeping it to themselves. But then they're being deceptive, because if they are doing J juice, but not mentioning it, and they're looking better every single day, then they're deceiving their people. Because they know if they don't do J juice, their people are going to die based upon the platform they keep promoting. And that right there is a cult. The cult of pain mitigation, the cult of promoting death, the cult of withholding the right chemistry to keep continuous life. What makes Jillian say that her chemistry is much better than mine? Because you got to deal with pain. And you have to have specific measurable results. And there is a chemistry and a biochemistry that has to be aligned. And then you start seeing everything change. And you're not playing the demonization game. You're accepting that everybody is equal, and why, and you start bringing in the bigger picture. You're not compartmentalized in your little tiny world of vegan and vegetarian or chemtrails or whatever. You see that why things happen, why we need vaccines, you know how you see someone's on a life trajectory where they see why people are who they are, why industries exist, why medical establishment exists, why biotech exists. And then you start taking money out of things that you don't believe in. And then you don't demonize it. Yeah, we have to have animal experimentation and human experimentation when we have weak people. It's just going to happen because you have weak people who want cures. So if you don't want a weak society, then you better strengthen your body so you don't then promote a reason to have animal experimentation and human experimentation, or even eating meat. If you really think that our society is going to evolve into not eating meat, I don't know, because we need all the different data packs for all the diverse industry and for all of what we have to do in our society. We need the advanced data packs. Will there be a society where everybody is living in harmony with each other? I have no idea, but at this point right now in our society with 7 billion people, and we have to work every single day, we need all of that nutrition. From animals to plants to bacteria to viruses. So until society changes, you've got to work with what you have. And then work on evolving humanity. If not, then you have no leg to stand on. None. Especially if you're aging and decaying, living in your little bubble. Bye.